We've all felt like outsiders before. And with today's political and social rhetoric, there's so much talk about them and us. They're bad and we're good and all that. And with the racism we see today and the ethnic tensions, the controversies about refugees, the religious strife in the world, sexism, and then the politics of sexual proclivities and all these different things, there's so much talk about us and them and who's in and who's out. Jesus has an amazing way of turning all of this on its head. The Bible is sprinkled with examples of him doing that, but let me focus on one in particular because it applies to so much of what's happening in our world today. In John chapter 4, Jesus goes through this part of the country called Samaria. Now, the Samaritans and the Jews were constantly at odds with each other. There was ethnic tensions. There were religious tensions. And as he's sitting by a well, a Samaritan woman comes up to him. And that's already a problem as well because women and men simply didn't talk to each other alone in those days. Now, she's alone, and that tells him a whole lot about her because women didn't go to the wells by themselves. They went with a group of women for social reasons, but also for safety reasons. So he can already tell, even in her own community, she's an outsider. And as they begin to discuss their differences, their political differences, their ethnic differences, their religious differences, even her moral issues, he begins to show her who she truly is. And he invites her to be included inside the family of those who worship God in spirit and in truth. Not because of her ethnicity, but despite those differences, she's actually an insider. And she's so excited by this encounter with him that she forgets her water jug at the well, and she runs back to the very village that rejects her and tells them to come listen and spend time with this Jewish man. And for some reason, these people who don't like Jews come and listen and spend time with him. Maybe you've got doubts about the Christian faith. We don't want you to feel like an outsider because you have questions. In fact, the Apostle Paul says that we are to walk in wisdom toward outsiders, letting our speech always be gracious and seasoned with salt so we can know how we ought to answer each person. If you're someone who's on the outside looking in and you've got sincere questions, we want to answer not just your questions, but answer you.